Old men don't shake at the legs. I never was sure why this was so. It is as if the springtails and click beetles had left them for a younger, more suitable host. For the springtails and click beetles were the ones who controlled men's legs. I can see the pests doing their best work in those who are jumping athletes. The pests must be dwelling all the way up to their knees, I said to myself once. Eventually, I grew the courage to travel into the woods where the kingdoms of the click beetles and springtails stood. I had determined myself to ask why they don't jump in the legs of old men. I arrived at the click beetle's nest first. The guards escorted me into the throne room where I stood before the entire kingdom. Click beetles, why don't you jump in the legs of old men, making them shake uncontrollably as you do in boys like me? The click beetle king replied, Old men are no fun. They aren't troubled like they used to be about the silly things of life as they did when they were younger. Without their troubles, we cannot eat and will starve. So leave we have, and are searching for one who is rich in troubles. Like you, our dear boy, who possesses the worries common to all men. Come, and let us eat with you on this day. In fact, we have prepared a table for such occasions as this. Seeing the trick, I left the kingdom of the click beetles with haste and traveled to where the springtails resided. My right leg was itchy with pain. Once arrived, I asked the same question that I had asked to the click beetles. Springtails, why don't you jump in the legs of old men, making them shake uncontrollably as you do in boys like me? The springtail king replied, Old men are no fun. They have no fear for us to drink. Without their fear, we will die of thirst and must find our dwelling in the legs of younger boys who have an abundance of fear for us to sip on. We must drink to grow and multiply our numbers in our left leg of the man. Their fear and troubles are produced in the heart, but there is not enough room for us and the click beetles to reside, to feast, and to jump. So we wait in our right leg because the click beetles have the left. And we wait for the fear to seep into our leg where there is plenty of room to drink and to jump. In fact, your legs are long and still seem to be growing. Let us take up habitat there and fill our bellies with drinks. Scared of what the springtails might do to me, I ran away, but they came after me. Both of my legs were itching now, and they gathered many scratches and bruises from the branches and thorns I ripped through. The woods became thicker with every step until I tripped and fell on my face. I looked up to a man with frazzled hair and tattered clothes standing in front of me. He looked at me and saw the muck on my shoes, the tears in my eyes, and the blood on my legs. I knew by his wrinkles and soft eyes that he was an old man, but he was different from the old men I'm used to seeing. He had a sort of bright fire in his soft eyes, which penetrated my very soul. He looked at me as if I had known him my entire life. By this point, my legs were shaking uncontrollably from fear. His were not. Not having much left in me, I gathered the courage and the words to ask him one last question. Why don't the click beetles and springtails jump in the legs of old men, like you, making them shake uncontrollably like mine do, as I speak to you right now? The old man stared at me for a while, those soft yet fiery eyes of his. After what seemed like an eternity, he replied, Peace I have left with you. My peace I give to you. Now jump once more and be rid of your troubles. Be rid of your fear. I obeyed and jumped as high and as hard as I could, landing back onto the solid ground with a stomp. Looking down at my legs, I saw click beetles seep out of the bloody scratches on my left leg, and springtails seep out of the scratches on my right. My legs no longer shook as they had in years prior. I took my foot and stamped on the pests that were trying to leave and search for another host. Amidst the excitement from conquering all of my troubles and fears, I remembered the old man. I looked up to find the old man so that I could thank him, but he was gone from where he stood only a few moments ago. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid.